The end of an interview often provides the candidate with choices. Do you ask a question when given the opportunity? And if so, what question? When asked if you have anything else to share, do you have a closing statement? There are many schools of thought on these questions, and we'll explore them here. When writing interview questions, I often close the interview with something like this. Do you have any questions for the panel, or is there anything that you would like to add that our questions didn't elicit? Our guidance to how best use this opportunity has evolved over time. I now firmly believe that you should ask a question, and wholeheartedly believe you should make a closing statement. A question asked can have a profound impact on your interview, for the positive or the negative. I've seen this play out powerfully in both ways. With this in mind, I suggest you ask questions that allow the panel to feel good about their school, their department, or their district. A few questions that I would recommend are a couple of you comfortable sharing what you are most proud of about your school? Or, is someone willing to share what they believe is the greatest priority for your school next year? Or, what makes your school great? How about, what is the most important thing for your principal to accomplish next year? We do not recommend asking everyone around the table to chime in on a particular question, as it typically takes too much time. I also suggest avoiding questions like, in analyzing your data, I noticed that your reading scores for second grade are low. Why is that? Or, your suspension data indicates that suspensions at your school are outpacing the state average. What do you attribute that to? Or maybe, I looked at your school calendar and did not notice any parent events. Do you encourage parent participation? I ask that you avoid these questions because it's highly unlikely that asking these questions, or the panel's responses to these questions, will leave the panelists feeling good as you exit the room, and so we suggest that you do not ask them. There will be a time to ask these questions in the future, potentially as early as the final interview. I've seen the aftermath of questions like this play out too often. There's great risk and little reward for asking this sort of a question. Our advice is that any question you ask at the end of the interview, leave the panel feeling positive about their experience with you. Demonstrate that you want to hear from them about what matters to them and your curiosity about their school. Questions that make panelists feel defensive should be avoided. They could leave a bad taste in their mouth that could negatively impact your candidacy. Questions in this category are great and are more fitting for the final interview. As shared, I strongly believe that you should take any opportunity to make a closing statement of about 30 seconds. This statement can be tied into your final question. As an example, if you asked about their greatest priority, you can close with something like this. I just want to thank you so much for this great opportunity to share a little bit about myself with you today and to hear about what's important to you. As your principal or assistant principal, I'm confident that I could partner with this great team and use my education, experience, personality, and leadership style to help you achieve those important priorities. Your closing statement could also stand alone from any questions asked. An example would be, yes, thank you. I'd love to make a closing statement. I want to start by taking a minute to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to participate on this panel. I've done my best to share a little bit about myself and why I think I'm a good match for this important position. You have a big decision ahead of you. Based upon what I have learned over the past several weeks, I am confident that my experience, education, personality, and leadership style are a great match for your school's needs. I hope you feel the same way, and I look forward to hearing more about the next steps. I wish you all the best. Do not miss this last opportunity to end the interview with a 30-second commercial for yourself. Please do not use my words, but have your words prepared. As this is short, it's a good opportunity to have something that is more or less scripted. Practice, practice, practice. You want it to feel comfortable and natural. It should come entirely from your heart. It should paint a picture of you in that important position and demonstrate your confidence.